Hi and welcome to part 2 of my Summer Splash Readathon series. So week 1 went by really well. I got a lot more reading done than I was expecting, and then I kind of stopped reading over the weekend, but it's okay. I went camping, I made some amazing bagels, I was working quite a bit, and yeah, other than that, just relaxing, doing chores, spending time with my partner, all the good stuff. Yeah, but I did finish a book this morning, and that is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. It wasn't entirely what I was expecting, because it is horror genre and they are scary, but I was expecting them to be scary in more of a visceral, gory type of way, and some of them were just scary on more an ethereal way, in an ethereal or eerie way. There were some ghosts and spirits, and it was really interesting to also see the Argentinian culture come through, and so I really enjoyed this one, and it was a fantastic read. I did make the mistake of reading one of the stories before bed, so I was like, oh, it's perfect, it's just a short story, I can read a bit before bed. It was a bit too scary for me, so it took me longer to fall asleep because I had to go on TikTok to calm down a bit. Even though they're not super terrifying in a scary way, but they very, very much stick with you, and it's it's a bone deep kind of horror, but really good. I definitely want to check out some of her other work. Yeah, so that was great, and that was for the Branch Out Square. And the next book I'm going to be starting is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I've heard so much about Emily Henry, especially with her new book coming out, but I still haven't read any of it, even though they're romance novels. This one's about two writers on a holiday, and it's a rom-com waiting to happen, so it sounds like it's super up my alley and everything I love in a book, especially in summer. This book especially also with beach reads screams summer to me, because I'd love to be reading this on a beach right now, but I don't think that's going to be happening because I'm not traveling to a beach anytime. That's a bit too cold to read on any of the beaches nearby. Yeah, yesterday and today were the only days this month where it hasn't been raining, and yesterday when I went to work it was still wet on the ground, so I don't think that necessarily counts. So I'm very excited to read Beach Read. Yeah. And Beach Read is for Heatwave, a book that plays in summer, which I'm not entirely sure this one does, but I think it plays just in summer. And yeah, I'm very excited to finally see if Emily Henry is worth the hype. There is one more prompt that I'm currently working on, because I realized that the audiobook I listen to on my commutes actually could count into Touch Grass. Touch Grass is the bingo square that is for reading a book entirely outside. But like I just mentioned, I have more of the splash part than the summer part here, because it's been raining a lot and it's a bit too cold to read outside for long periods of time. So I don't see myself reading an entire book outside anytime soon. Yeah, so Touch Grass will be the audiobook I listen to on my commute, so I'm taking the outside as outside of my apartment. So on the public transport, so I usually read it from the moment I leave my door to on public transport, and then sometimes occasionally in the changing room, but I'm counting that as outside. And yeah, so for that book I'm reading The Madness of Crowds, and it's been really interesting. I'm at the conclusion now, so I'm probably going to be finishing it this week. And other than that, this week I don't know how much reading I'll be getting done, because I have a few internship things I want to do, and maybe we'll be taking a day trip tomorrow, so we'll see if that works out. And then I also have work towards the end of the week, and I have some packing to do. But while I have been doing great with the reading, I haven't done any of the Instagram challenges or activities on the bingo board yet, so I'm very excited to get started on those this week as well. And yeah, I hope it's going to be a good reading week. So far this week I have read 2 books. The first one is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed, and like I spoke about earlier in the vlog, I really loved it, and this is for the Branch Out Bingo Square. The second book I finished this week I finished earlier today, and it's The Madness of Crowds. It was a really interesting look at the rise of identity politics and woke culture, and kind of taking a different perspective from what I'm used to of it on it. And I think he did it very well by drawing in the history and just showing how quickly these societal changes are happening and how quickly you have to change your mind and adjust to it in a way that I didn't realize was actually happening. So I thought it was a very interesting counter perspective to kind of what I'm used to hearing about it. And it's definitely making me think a lot more, and I'm not really sure how to review the book, aside from the fact that I think it's good to take in different perspectives, and I think he did a good job at researching the book as well. I finished that for the Touch Grass Square because that's reading a book completely outside. I was reading it on public transport earlier today, and then since it wasn't raining for a bit, I decided to go for a walk and finish it. So that was a fun audiobook. And now I'm currently still reading Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I'm loving it so far. I've kind of been savoring it and reading like a few pages every day, because I think I started this on Monday and today is Thursday. It's made me laugh out loud. It's made me want to write a romance novel. It just makes me feel happy and really brings the summer feelings in. And I have about 100 pages left, so I might be finishing it either tonight or tomorrow. And last night we had a little date night and we painted, so I'm using the beach-themed bookmark my boyfriend made me at the moment, since it is Beach Read, and that is making me extra happy right now. Last night I started another book, and that's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green to fill the Pride Square. I'm reading it on my Kindle, so I also have no pressure to finish it before I leave for my trip, and I can just read it at the airport. Otherwise, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, and so far all I know is that it follows April May, who is roommates with her girlfriend Maya and friends with a guy named Andy, and they met in college for design. They're all very creative people, and she stumbles across this statue and they create a YouTube video, and it goes viral, and they name them Carls because they're appearing all over the world. And it's a very interesting premise so far, and I'm excited to see how it continues. I had a very exciting day yesterday because the book that I've been waiting for a really long time finally arrived, and that's my pre-order of Bargain Bin Rom-Com by Lena Norms, who is a YouTuber, and she's shared some of her poems online already, and I got to watch a special video as part of the pre-order. I'm so excited to dive into this collection, and it's going to fulfill the easy breezy square on the bingo board, which is reading a book under 200 pages. So we'll see when I read it in the next few days, but I honestly can't wait. I'm so excited to read it. Yeah, and that's where I'm at the moment. I did fulfill an Instagram challenge, so I can cross off the photo op square. I made a peach galette. It's like a flat pie, inspired by the cover of Beach Read, because the peaches I bought were like the flat peaches, so they're kind of like white on the inside, and then the outside kind of looks like these colors depending on it. And there's a blueberry sauce, which was purple on top. But sadly, it did not come out exactly how I envisioned it, but it was still pretty good. So, and we had it with ice cream. And sometimes, baking just doesn't go to plan. It doesn't taste as good as you were hoping, but it's still edible, and I'm still gonna finish it. And maybe next time I'll make it with the other peaches, and I'll enjoy it a bit more. But yeah, the last couple days I've mostly been baking, doing work for my internship. That's what I spent most of today doing. So I'm excited to probably just curl into bed and read and then go to sleep.